You are listening to the Julie Parker Practice Success Podcast, where you discover management insights and strategies for your successful dental practice. There are also interviews with key people in the industry who have advice and services to help you and your team achieve great success. Welcome to this episode of the Julie Parker Practice Success Podcast. And today, being co-hosted with the wonderful Amina Basile. How are you, Amina?
Hi, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And so it's a bit of more of a Dental Business Mastery podcast episode, and we've got a magnificent guest and company to speak about today, and that is SmilePass. And our guest from SmilePass is Marcius Bispo. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
It was an easy thing to have you on this podcast because Amina and I are so excited about SmilePass and what it means to dental practices. And so we are encouraging every dental practice to look into it because it is fantastic. So first of all, tell us a little bit about you, Marcius, your background, and then tell us a little bit about SmilePass and how long it's been around and what it actually does. I'm going to throw to you.
Sure. Okay, so I am originally from Brazil. I came here to Australia in 2018, and I started a master degree in business. And at the same time, I was working in a dental practice as the business manager of the practice. I have some experience from in dentistry from Brazil. We started some mobile dental practice there and other business not related to dentistry. So on this practice that I was working here, one of my goals was to increase the revenue and to turn the clinic more profitable. And but we saw there were so many challenges there, and one of the challenges was the conversion rate, the treatment conversion rate of the clinic. And we tried different things. One of the things that really worked, and it was we created a membership for our patients there. And in the beginning, it was just the idea was how we can make more affordable the preventative care more affordable for people and more convenient, because it was not only about the cost, was about also the convenience of the patient to remember and to feel motivated to go to the clinics. So that was the first. When we created the membership, this was the goal, but it was so much more than we were expecting. In just 6 months, we had already 60 members using our membership of the clinic, and those members, they started to invite other friends and family to participate on that. And we saw new patients coming from a different channel that we were not expecting. But soon it started to be a burden to us, because we were not ready to, we didn't have a platform to manage those patients. We were using a spreadsheet at that time, and it soon started to be a problem. Then we started to talk with other companies that they manage memberships, but not for dental practice. We talked with a few. One of the ones that it's more for the gyms, because it's a similar approach, a gym membership and what we were doing, but not perfect. So we used this platform for 2 years on the practice, but soon we saw that this was not the ideal part. We had at that time 300 members and growing. So we started to develop our own platform. We hired a great team of developers to do this platform. The chief technology officer, the CTO of the platform, he is not only a data scientist and a developer, but he's also a dentist. So he understands the field very well. He knows the needs, and he brought so many insights to the product. So that was when SmilePass was finally created. And SmilePass is a platform that manages payments, not only memberships. The membership was the first part of that, and is our big success. but we also offer different payment options for the practice and for the patient. The idea is to concentrate in just one platform everything that's related to payment, to increase the revenue of the dental practice, and also to facilitate the process to make dentistry more affordable and convenient for the patients. So inside SmilePass, we have memberships. The practice can create their own membership plans. They can create their own in-house payment plans. They can use instant payments to send, for example, payments to the patients, send an SMS to the patient, and the patient can put the payment details to send to them. We have gift cards. We have third parties, dental loans, for example, Denticare and other platforms, other systems. Instead of making one contract with each of those dental loans, you can use SmilePass and have access to this field. And we are always growing and investing in new technology. So there are so many other things to come, and I'm very excited with the new products.
It's just so powerful. There really is those two prongs. And I'll go through to you, Mini. We've got both the membership side, which we're going to talk about, and we're also going to be talking about the payment plan side, because how complex is it nowadays for dental receptionists? And if that receptionist, God forbid, isn't there to organise the payment plan for that patient, for somebody that doesn't normally do it, all of a sudden to try to learn the Denticare Afterpay, Zip, Hum, practice payment plans, all the things, it's so complex and it's difficult to implement, so it doesn't often work well.
That's right. It does get really messy. And I think even for the patient, for them to be able to understand when there's so many things happening in different areas, and there's already a sense of distrust around dentistry and its fees, and then we make this side of it so complicated, they're really like, scared of it. And having it streamlined in the one hub is, I think, a really beautiful thing. And another thing is that I've just always seen this big need to move in this direction. I think even 15 years ago, maybe around that kind of time, there was another company in Australia that started to offer memberships, but I think it just never really took off, and it was meant to integrate with some dental software, and that didn't eventuate and all the things. So I think it's been needed for a really long time to move away from this private health insurance model, which is no longer working for most Australians. So this membership platform can really be a good move to get away from that. But I think up until now, there hasn't been a platform that has been really, really well executed to function in a practice. So it is really exciting. And I think you've also spoken about integrations with the dental softwares as well, haven't you?
Yes, this is so important. I think from the experience that I had on the dental practice and the experience that we are having now implementing the SmilePass on clinics, one crucial thing that is one of our bases, one of our pillars of SmilePass is to simplify the reception. They already have so many tasks to do. They already are in processing in procedures inside that we cannot bring more complexity to the work. What we need to do is to simplify. So all the platform, we work with so many automations and integrations to make the use of memberships, payment plans, sending payments very smooth, and that can be inside the routine of any reception. Doesn't matter if it's a small dental practice or a big practice with several clinics, several locations, chairs. So this is the good thing of the platform. It's very flexible and simple to use, very easy, and it's very intuitive to use the platform. And the integration with the softwares, we are in process of doing that. This is one of the priorities for the first semester of this year. And the idea is inside your platform, you can control everything, and you can send the invitations and inside your platform. And also we are, because we are concentrating as you said, uh, the ZPay, Denticare, so many other platforms that before you would have to sign a contract with each of them, open different websites. You have to have your dashboard on your computer. You would have to open a lot of tabs and manage different rules. They would have, it's better. What we decide to do is to concentrate everything in just one platform. You signing the contract with us, you are signing the contract with them, and this is so easy to for the dental practice. And they are introducing so many payment options to the patients. This is making the conversion of treatments, it goes very high, because now there is no excuse. Now it's easy for the patient to see what are the options that are going to be fit into their budgets.
And, I want to bring dentists who are out there possibly listening to this saying, oh, we don't really need that, because we've tried Afterpay and we've tried Hum, and not many people take us up on that. Not many people use that. And let me tell you, one of the big reasons why not many people use it is because it's a clunky system at the moment. And because it depends on the person who knows most about it to be there. If there's a dental assistant popping out to the front desk to help out the receptionist, and that patient indicates by their body language or maybe something that they've said that they might need a payment plan, and they don't feel competent in the knowledge around that particular payment plan, whether it's Hum or Denticare or whatever, they won't offer it. It's just too easy to say, I'll get the receptionist to give you a call back or what have you. But then if the receptionists themselves, if they're not doing it on a regular basis, they are not comfortable enough with the information either to jump into it and offer it as a really true option for the patient. So I don't want dentists and receptionists out there to think, we have that, but it has never been really all that popular, because it depends entirely on how you've integrated that into your conversations with your patients. And there is one thing that is absolutely for sure, especially with the cost of living crisis that everyone's moving through at the moment, that when you are, just think about an orthodontic. I was at an orthodontic clinic yesterday. If you're given a quote for $10,000 worth of treatment, not many people can afford to put that down today. However, if you say, but that will be paid off monthly and it's only a couple $100 a month, that changes the world entirely. And this is part of what we're talking about. So I just want to focus on the different payment options, such as these, Denticare, Afterpay, Zip, etc. at the moment. And then I want to talk about the membership side, because I do believe that these are two distinct and powerful offerings that SmilePass offer. So from the user perspective, as you say, Marcius, quite accurately, from the user perspective, if you had somebody in front of you that said, I need to have a payment plan, and then as the receptionist, you're like, well, let me go through all the things around Hum, and now let me go through all the things around Afterpay, you are jumping into different programs. It becomes confusing for the patient because the receptionist is explaining it to the degree that they understand it with the elegance of someone who is using it. If they're using it not very often, it's going to be a little bit stunted. And if there's a question that's out of left field, they won't know the answer. They'll have to research it, all the things. As opposed to, you would like to have a payment plan of some kind or pay in a different way rather than just give me your credit card or cash right now. And then you go into SmilePass, it's all the same branding. You've got the different options. We're not jumping in and out of screens. How much easier is that as a process?
Yeah, completely. And also the flexibility for the practice. You are empowered to decide what you want to offer to them, even to create your own payment plan. And this is also a very popular option because now that we are taking off any third parties, now it's between you and your patient, and you are in control of everything. You decide if it's going to be a deposit or not, or how much would be the deposit. You decide the quantity of installments that you are giving to them, if there will be a fee or not on that. So you create your own payment plan. This is it makes very into the reality of your patients. You understand and you can offer that. And this facilitates a lot the process or for the practice to have that product there. They would already know, the reception would know what are the conditions of that. You will decide if the patient is accepted for this payment plan or not. You're not waiting for the patient to apply and to send the documents and for the third party to accept. So this puts the dental practice in control of this whole. And this is one of the most things when people comes to us to talk about their practice. We hear a lot that the problem is the cost for the patient. Patients are always complaining about the costs. And when you give them flexibility, as you said, when you say to them, instead of paying $10,000, now you're paying $150 a week, it's easy for them. They can put that into the budget and makes the process very easy. And yeah, with a SmilePass, we already give to them all the agreement, all the contract, every piece that is important to have an agreement when you create your own payment plan, because something can happen. So it's important to have a good agreement on this part. We are also giving this part. We are automating all the payments. We have all the communications ready to go. So your dental practice doesn't need to think of those things. You are going to be informed by us all the time what is happening on the payments. You are going to receive on your system all the information of what's happening. And soon, when we integrate with the dental softwares, you are going to see on the platform there if the payment's overdue, if it's paid, it's processing. All the information is going to be on the platform, and you don't need to do anything else than offering the payment plans to them.
So it's all being tracked for you. You don't have to track it yourself anymore, which is a gloriously wonderful thing as well.
Yes, definitely.
And with when you're using multiple companies like Dentacare, Afterpay, Zip, you've got to reconcile all of these.
Oh yes.
Different entities, so it's really, really annoying and a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so being able to offer different payment plans as a practice is so crucial. Dental practices, some practices love having one system fits all. I don't believe that happens. I think the way we manage in terms of finances, new patients come into the practice as opposed to people that have been coming to us for 20, 30 years, they need to be wildly different. There's a different relationship there. And so with a new patient coming in with a raging toothache that needs assistance to be able to afford the extraction that they've got, that they need, that's one thing. You're going to be saying, we need payment on the day. And if you don't pay us today, we can't see you, because we've all been through those sort of situations in the past and heard the stories that you extract the tooth, the pain's gone, all of a sudden their need to pay you has gone as well. And so you never get the money for the account. As opposed to someone that's been seeing you for 20, 30 years, they've said that, their children who are now grown with families, they come to you as well. That person says, I really need to have this crown, but I'd love to be out, and I know I need it urgently today, but I'd love to be able to pay that over 4 payments over the next 4 weeks. Because it's a trusted relationship, because I've been seeing you for such a long time, and because you want to maintain that goodwill with them, you might say, yeah, sure thing, but it's still important to have a contract with that. But gone are the days where we have to then, where do we find those payment plan forms and where do we get it signed and all the things? This allows you to do all those things, and you can systematize this as a practice. There can be a system for patients that have been coming to the practice for under 2 years, as opposed to those that have been coming to the practice for over 10 years. A lot of it should be like a bit of a case-by-case basis when long-term patients are asking for a bit of finance assistance. I think it's always a good idea to have the practitioner involved in that conversation. But this can all be established within SmilePass, making a far more fluid and easy process for everybody.
Yes. Another thing that we see, even with SmilePass, the clinic can be creative on different things. That, for example, one of the practice that is using SmilePass, they decided to use SmilePass for every payment there. And what they are doing is, because before they were having an issue of the patient, this is not the majority of the case, but it was happening there, that the end of when the patient accepts the treatment, they do all the treatment, when they go to the reception to pay, they find out that they cannot afford, they don't have the money, and this practice is very busy now because of the membership. The membership attracted patients to them, and they are so busy now that they are valuing every minute of the clinic. And what they are doing is they are using the platform, the SmilePass platform, to send the patient the payment requirement. They are creating the payment for for example, the treatment will be in 3 visits. Every visit is going to be $1,000. They are creating with the patient. They're creating the payment on the consultation. They will send to the patient 3 days before the appointment the request for payments. So the clinic is guaranteeing that they are going to receive the payments beforehand, 3 days before. If they, just in case something happens that they don't receive, they still have time to talk with the patient and everything. And it's been the patients are happy to do that because they are going to pay for the treatment, and they value the time of the dentist and the dental assistant, the whole team waiting there. So this is one way that they can do to send. We already know how many visits and how much it's going to be. In just one few clicks on SmilePass, you are going to put the amount and the date for every time for the patient to go. The patient will authorize just once, and this is going to schedule 3 payments, for example, 3 payments for the patient 3 days before the appointment, and the reception doesn't need to do anything else. This is saving time for the reception and making the process more also secure, because it's not a good idea for the reception to be dealing with very sensitive information that is banking, credit cards, numbers, and those kind of things. So you are giving to the patient sending to them the SMS. They are authorizing just once that, and all the payments are now scheduled, and you can control that on your practice.
That is magnificent. And the first thing that has come crashing into my brain is when I had my practice, for example, and the practices that I worked at prior to that. That's right. When the receptionist is managing those payments, you have the credit card details within the dental software kept somewhere within there, and it's password protected. And when you shut down, you have to open it up again with a password. However, if someone came and helped you out on reception desk, they've got access to your Open Dental for Windows, for example. That's the one I'm most familiar with. And you think, oh, yes, well, we trust everyone that works here. And I do encourage people to only hire those that they trust. However, I have a classic story of the second practice I ever worked at, and they had a trusted employee there. This is going back into physical paper receipt days and cards. And this very trusted employee, she'd been there for many, many years. She had fallen into a gambling addiction. And so she started siphoning money out of the company. And so even the most trusted people can slip up. They can have something go on in their world that can happen. And on this podcast, quite a number of episodes ago, and I'm trying to remember the company name, it's over in the US, it could be called Prosperity, but I will put the link to that episode in the show notes, because that company, and speaking to that man, it made me understand what their job was, to find out where money was being stolen from dental practices. And on their site, they've got, it's like a shame page. It's a terrible thing. I would hate to have been on that shame page, I tell you what, because of one slip up in life. But this shame page had the details, the name, the photograph, and the amount stolen, and the penalty that they ended up having to live through because of their stealing, for each of these cases that they had managed. Now, some of these cases, the people had been employed for 10 years, 20 years. The amounts that were being stolen, some of them were small, hundreds, thousands. Some of them were hundreds of thousands. Some of them were millions. Somebody was stealing money. I think they got up to some multi-million amount over a 10-year period. And so jail time for a lot of these people. And when you look at that, you go, Crips, maybe I've got to be more aware and careful about this. And I think as dental practice owners, we do need to play a responsible role in this as well. So one of my things, for example, is that I've never been a fan of practices that keep tablets like Valium or Panadeine Fort or something like that on site, because it's like putting a liquor cabinet right there and you've got a bunch of 15-year-olds in the house and then you say, I'm going away for the weekend. It's like the temptation's too strong if they're in that headspace. But I think this is the same too. Don't put the temptation there either. And so SmilePass removes the need to keep any of those credit card details on site, and therefore helps us to be more responsible employers and stop putting the temptation there for people who might fall into that bit of a trap. But this is an assurance you can make to your patients too. We don't keep any of your payment details here on site.
Yeah, that gives more security for yourself and for the patient, and also the protocols, because when you are sending payments to the patients, there are so many things that you should know about the systems and data security and everything, that a dental practice, it's very hard for a dental practice to follow all those protocols. For example, another thing that happened, one of the dental practice, they used to write down when they used to ask for prepayments over the phone, and they would write down the credit card information on a post-it. So there are so many things that can happen there. Yeah, so many stories that we hear because of our products. For example, another one, the reception. I'm not giving ideas to people, please. But another one, the receptionist brought their own FPOS machine to the practice.
Gosh,
can you believe
that's
on
a lot of
that?
planning. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is Well, when people want to do wrong, they can be very creative.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way. That's for
Yeah.
sure. That's for sure. And sometimes it's a worthwhile question to ask as a group, especially to the receptionist. If you wanted to steal from this practice, how would you do it? Because that's where you find the gaps in the security process, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you think, if I wanted to steal, how would I actually do it? How would I get away with it? And then put systems in place around that. One other quick question, and then I want to move on to the membership side. Would this help with taking deposits? Because many, sometimes practices you've been working with a practice recently, they've found the need to take deposits to secure appointment times to increase turn-up rate.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of the things that we use a lot. We have two options there. It's can be an instant payment that you just put the phone number of the patient and the amount sent to them, they authorize you receive. Or there is another one that is a hold. It's not going to be charged from the clients. They will authorize this amount will be holded on the account. It's not going to leave the account. But after 7 days, you have 7 days to decide what's going to do. You can just cancel the transaction and would never leave the account of the patient, or you can authorize anytime in 7 days, and that goes to your account. So this also, it's a convenience for the patients that you don't need to charge and then a refund or anything. It will just hold the amount to guarantee that you're going to receive, and then you decide what's going to happen later.
And so to do that, it would just be an SMS that's sent to them.
Yeah, an easy
How
SMS
easy is that?
authorized. Yeah.
Meaning, with the practice that you've been dealing with recently with that, how easy would that be to help manage that side of things?
Yeah, it would be really, really helpful. I think because the deposit, I'm getting, and we need to have this conversation some other time, Julie, but I'm getting much more excited about the idea of deposits. I've always deterred from them, but I've got some different thoughts about that now. I think, things have shifted a bit, and it can also look a little bit like, wow, this person must be really good if I have to pay a deposit and confirm like that and have so much security. So, different things are happening, but and this practice definitely needs to do something, and it'll be, we'll see how it all goes, but we can always ditch it if it's not successful. However, I think in the past, whenever I've been around deposit systems, just using dental software and all that, it can be very, very clunky. I have seen with doctors, general practitioner doctors, making online bookings and things like that, even the hairdresser, that you submit your credit card details and all those things, and then there's a disclaimer about what will be deducted in the event that you cancel at short notice, blah, blah, blah. So those kind of, having that kind of control. And I think even just having put your credit card details forward in the first instance is like, I better turn up otherwise.
And it does indicate that deeper level of commitment to the appointment time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's a whole bunch of admin I've got to do to sort it out. Like I've got to call them and maybe get a refund and all the things. So
yeah. Now, I want to shift over to the membership side of SmilePass, because this is, hopefully dental practices out there are wildly excited by that first element, the payment side of the payment plan side of the SmilePass, because they should be, because once they implement this and use it well, they'll find their conversion rates increase. No question about that. The membership side. Now, traditionally membership plans, and I'll get you to speak a little bit to this, have been difficult to implement and manage. What is becoming and has been becoming for many years more and more difficult is preferred provider plans with health funds. And once you're in it as a practice, you feel like you're trapped in it. And look at what's happened with Bupa recently. Bupa at the very start, HBA, back in HBA days, you became a member. There were only a few of you in the area. You got new patients. It seemed to be much more fluid. And you got to increase your fees every year, all the things. Over the years, there has been challenges. One, Bupa became not just your preferred provider host, but they became your competition as well. They bought up a whole bunch of practices, and now, on top of that, they're opening large dental practices. A client that I know, few doors down, they've just opened up a 9-chair practice, and they're a Bupa provider, but now all those Bupa patients are being told, if you come down to our large clinic, you'll get an even better rebate than you do with this other one. And so and a lot of these health funds now, they're not increasing the fees every year as well. The minute you don't have control over what you fee your patients, you are therefore restricted by an external entity whose agenda it is to pay you as little as possible to then be able to afford the technology, the team, the environment, all the things that you need to be able to spend money on to be able to provide a adequate, hopefully superior service to your patients. And so it is a wonderful freedom to not to have to be part of the preferred provider. But if you're already in there, what are you going to do? What if you have never been a preferred provider, but one of these large clinics have opened up down the road? So you think, I'm going to lose a few patients. They're going to just go down there instead. And one of the things, one of the, Amina and I've got a process for this, but this is where SmilePass is going to be crucial to this process. You can get out of preferred provider arrangements. You can introduce a membership plan, and this is the way to do it. So talk to us about these membership plans, because what Amina and I are going to be doing are encouraging dental practices, if you want to get out of your preferred provider arrangement, you get your patients to drop their dental extras cover over there, be part of the membership plan here, and tell us a bit more about how that works, Marcius. Because actually, before you do, just very quickly, in case you've never tried to implement a membership plan, Mini, what's that like?
At that time, I could see a big need for it. It was attractive to the patients. It wasn't that hard to get members because the benefit to them is, for example, many of us with a family of 4 could be paying, $5,000-$6,000 a year for private health insurance, and sometimes with little benefit. So in terms of dentistry, depending on your health fund and your level of cover and whether the practice is a preferred provider or not and all that type of thing, you may get a very small percentage of the fee as a rebate. So it's, what do I even pay this for? So because most families in the first instance would be thinking, okay, if I'm spending $6,000 a year on health insurance, what kind of benefits am I getting from it? Is it a viable decision? I'm only claiming a couple of $1,000s worth of benefits, but I'm paying $6,000 for the policy. So this is not a really worthwhile exercise for me. I may as well, pay independently. However, then that might be a budgeting thing. They find it hard to come up with the money at the time, all that sort of thing, discipline to budget for those things. So the membership way can just take away all that stress and thought. And that with the membership programs, the practice might come up with, okay, for X price, the family of 4 will get 2 examinations, 2 cleans, bite wings biannually, whatever it might look like. And you pay X amount a month, and then everybody's covered. You don't even have to think about it or worry about it, and it's less than health insurance anyway, and all that type of thing. So that side of it was attractive. What was difficult to manage was who's paid what and where are the payments all up to, and what services have they already taken from their little package. And, how's that all managed and allocated? So those were the tricky things to manage.
And so, Marcius, tell us about how SmilePass can really make the membership process very straightforward and a great benefit to both the patient and the practice.
Yeah, so the membership is my big passion. Everything is that we are doing all the time. Even when the practice they come because of payment plans, they always get into the membership, and they see that the returns on that. The membership, the SmilePass. Well, before that, what's the membership? What's the idea of the membership itself? It's first of all, this is getting very popular in other industries. Subscriptions. This is getting more and more popular in everywhere. But specifically in dentistry, for example, in United States, this is getting the big trend in dentistry today is subscriptions. And the reason for that is what you were saying, Julie, that when the patient is on a health fund, they are not actually your patient. They are the patient of that health fund. And they are going to go wherever the health fund will guide them to. And when they open another dental practice there, or when you lose your license, or when any other, you're always vulnerable to the market, to what is happening there. That's not depending on your practice, and the loyalty for your practice for these people are very small. So one way to leave this dependence of health funds is to convert your patients to your membership, to your own membership. This is going to be great for your patients. They're going to have access to your treatments, to everything that you're going to decide to them. And the good thing of SmilePass is that it's completely customizable. You are going to decide what are the benefits that are going to be included there, what are the terms and conditions for each of those benefits. You are going to decide the fees, the frequency of those fees, the terms and conditions of special terms and condition, ages. You can create specific for kids, specific for seniors. You can decide. You can even create premium memberships for your patients. There are so many things that you can decide there. It can be simple or complex as we want to do, as you want to manage. And the way to control that is also very simple. We automate all the process. For example, the renewals are all automated. The communication with the patient is all automated. And to control, for example, Amina was mentioning how to control the services that the patient already used. This is also very easy to use in our platform. You are going to see on the patient profile what are the services that were used or not. And soon, when we integrate with the software platform with the patient softwares, you are going to see on that platform there if that patient is a member or not, if they are active or overdue or canceled. You're going to see the status there and all the services that already was used for these memberships. And you don't need to worry about the rest. All if just in case they they don't pay on the day, they are going to receive the communication, and we are going to have several ways to communicate with them, not only SMS but emails, calls, and you are going to be notified. You are going to receive that, and on our communication to you, we are going to also give you options for you to choose what will happen. So you are in full control of everything, but we are automating all the process so that you don't need to do. You just need to decide what can happen.
It's fantastic. And when you think about, you've got what Amin and I call perpetual patients. So these are the ones that come every 6 months, no fail. They regardless of what their financial situation is, if they had a dip, they'd still come in for that dental appointment time. It's a fantastic way for them to manage their relationship with you as well. Then you've got your loyals that don't necessarily come every 6 months, but they might really appreciate being on a plan where they're like, I am going to come in every couple of years, no matter what. And you're not going to have the kind of transient type of patients buying into this, but this is really addressing the different types of patients that come into your practice. In addition to that, you may have hygiene departments. You may have a focus on perio and things like that. So there are different types of plans. You may have 1 or 2, or you may have 5 or 6. But you were mentioning before, Marcius, that you had patients actually recommended to the practice that you used to work with because they loved the thought of the membership so much.
Yes, and the loyalty of the patient, they feel that they become part of that family. They are a member of that, and they start to recommend to friends and family, even because they have we create loyalty programs for that, to a referral program to grow the membership by its own. You're going to use your patient to grow that, but the experience is also when for some reason your member has to go to another practice to do another service, they are going to be talking about SmilePass. They are going to be talking about the membership, and we are getting new practices because of the patients recommending to the other practice that. One good memory that I have is one practice called saying that there was another patient that he was just traveling on the city, and this patient went for an emergency on the practice, and when the practice tried to book a second visit or a check and clean, they said no, I can't because I'm part of a membership, and it's been great. Everything is easy, very convenient for me. I don't need to think anymore. They just call me, I go there, do the exam. It's easy to the whole process. So this patient convinced the practice to join SmilePass, and it was this is very, very good, and it's a great experience for the patient and for the practice. For the practice is a recurring revenue. We are on our research. We found that when the patient is on a membership, the chances that you have to for them to accept treatment is double if they were not part of the membership. So you increase a lot the chance for the patient to accept the treatment that you offer, and also the visits. The patients that are not on a membership, the research showed that is the patient goes 0.4 times a year to the dental practice. So it's once every 2.5 times a year to it's once every 2.5 years to a visit. While the patients that are on a membership, this increases to 1.3 times a year. So from 0.4 times a year, the patient visiting your practice, to 1.3 times. This makes your relationship with your patient better. You have more time to find very early any disease that is coming, and also the loyalty for the practice, and the openness to accept treatments are very big, and they are going to be referring to family and everything because they remember you more often.
Wonderful. And I'm just imagining being in the waiting room, and you see a patient come out from the surgery and they just get a wave from the receptionist. You're all good. You're one of our VIP, one of our very important patients.
Yeah.
See you later. And they're like, what the hell just happened? Oh, you know, and then you've got signs in there too. You want to become a VIP? This is how. What a wonderful thing to be able to come in and just walk out without having to pay because it's already been all covered. Manny, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts around this?
So I like the ongoing positive effects other than just having memberships is for the patients, like you spoke about, the loyalty and so forth, but also have you got any statistics around the patient compliance to their appointments when they're a member?
Good question.
Yeah, well, this is a policy that the practice has the full control. They decide what happens if the patient doesn't show up. Well, they have, for example, 2 checkups and clean included on the membership. They book the appointment, but they fail to attend. What happens? You decide. This is part of the terms and conditions. We have our recommendation on. We have a terms and condition that is recommended, but you can change anytime. And so this is given to the practice. What you do are we going to count that as the visit done, or they would have, for example, 24 hours before, 48 hours before, to reschedule that appointment. Otherwise they would lose that visit. So this is up to the practice to decide what will happen just in case they fail to attend, or they just reschedule with a few days in advance. So yeah, it's better to give to the practice this decision than us to just input. Everyone has to do that.
I think from a patient's perspective, for those patients that do think, oh, now I've got to replace my tires, I better cancel my dental appointment this week, it's all a bit much, it removes that they don't have to think about the money side of the routine care or whatever's included in their membership. They can just turn up and it's all taken care of. So I think that's good. I think also when we are having, for example, 6 monthly visits, if that is the case for the patient, we might drag out that visit to 8 months or 9 months, that kind of thing. But when we're on a membership, we want to maximise, what we get out of it. So we're probably going to be more compliant from that perspective as well. That will turn up to our regular examinations and things like that. So many benefits all around. And from a business perspective, for the practice, and I'm talking very conservatively, and I'm just plucking numbers out of the air. But for example, if you've got 200 patients paying $150 a month for a membership, it's $30,000 a month coming into the bank account without you even thinking. So before you've started doing anything else other than, some basic routine appointments.
Even if they don't show up, you are
you're
receiving
guaranteed
that.
income. Yeah. So and like I said, that's a very conservative bit of maths there. That could be, much bigger than that. So
That's a really good point, Meanie. Gosh, we just need to be able to have a reliable amount coming in. If we do, it's greater peace of mind. We can better plan for the cash flow projections of all the things. And the other thought that's coming to my mind too is that when you do have, and if you promote it, that this is for one of a different or better, this could be a good one. VIP, very important patient group, they get managed a little bit differently. Because they've extended that deeper level of care and commitment, they've extended that deeper level of loyalty by being part of it, part of the program, part of the SmilePass membership program, then all of a sudden they're the ones that get Christmas cards every year, for example, or they get birthday cards on their birthdays, or every year at the end of the year they get invited to an open house where they can come in and just enjoy, saying goodbye to the past year and looking forward to the new year. So they get a little bit more special treatment. And I'm imagining what that would feel like as a patient, and it would tie you stronger and stronger into this practice. It really does breed loyalty as long as you're doing the right thing in terms of maintaining or consistently improving the level of customer service that you're providing that patient. It's a win-win all round.
Yeah. The relationship between the patient and the dentist it's naturally this close. Is when we were during COVID, dentistry was one of the things that even though you are so in contact with the mouth and nose and everything, but you cannot avoid. So it's a relationship and a relationship of trust that you have on the dentist, and this can be grow more and more, and uh, a membership is another way to consolidate this close relationship that you are developing with them, with the patient, creating this long-term life-lasting relationship with this patient, because they are now part of the family. They are part of they are the VIP part of there. They are receiving for gift cards and the communications and everything, the birthday. So this creates so much intimate relationship with them that they trust you and they want to continue this relationship and bring the family and everything for them. Another thing that you mentioned, how easy is for the reception when the patient is a member. You don't need to worry about payments anymore. The patient just come to the appointment. They already they're already part of the family. You're going to talk to them. They are going to go to the appointment. They are going to leave the appointment. Just reschedule the next visit and bye bye. So it's easy. It's very. There is not this part of, oh, now I have to take your payments. No, it's all good to go. Thank you. Yeah, you can continue your routine, your day. So the reception also loves to offer the memberships because of that, because they know that this makes their job much easier.
And we're all for efficiency on a reception. And it does take away a big chunk of time that is spent on managing the patients, processing, the health fund and then the payment and all the things. So it's so incredibly valuable. And if there are dental practices out there that are part of a preferred provider, or they feel that a preferred provider has opened up close to them and it might be a bit of a threat to them, definitely SmilePass, we believe SmilePass is one of the key aspects to get yourself a bit of a solution around that. So, Marcius, what is the process? If practices out there are like, yeah, this is fantastic, we want to learn more about this, we want to implement this, what's their best next step? What does the process of implementation look like?
Well, we can demonstrate. We can do a demo of the platform. It's easy. It's very easy. Or you can start for free. You can just go to our website, smilepass.co. There is a button that gets started free, and you are going to access the platform. You can already start creating your own membership plans, your payment plans. You can access all the benefits that we offer. And yeah, so it's very easy to use. If you have any trouble, we have a great team of support to help you on the onboarding process. So yeah, it's what I said. It's the importance is to be simple, to be easy for the practice to utilize, even though there are so much technologies and thoughts behind the SmilePass. But for the dental practice itself, it's just clicking on getting started, doing putting all the information that you need there and start using.
Wonderful. I mean, just quickly, we recently, highlighted for a periodontal clinic, this is magnificent too. These people that have long-term relationships with patients.
Yeah.
So that is all straightforward. Now take that down, smilepass.co, not .com, not .com.au, smilepass.co is the website. There is a chance to watch a demo, organise a demo, join up for free, start looking into this. And if you make the decision to implement it, then go through that process and do it really well. Because if you do take that time and commitment to get everybody on board, including your patients, it can only be a winning solution in our mind, isn't it, Meanie?
That's right. I think it can really be a game changer for your practice, and it's a point of difference too. At this point, there's not, too many practices that are doing this and doing it really well just yet. So get in quick, beat everybody to it.
That's it. And I do apologise for the YouTube people that keep seeing me cough. I've got a cold, and so I'm coughing and sneezing and spluttering. And so I feel like I'm on day 3 and better than the last 2 days. And also, just to quickly interject too, the company I was talking about before that track embezzlement is Prosperident, and it was episode 121 with David Harris. So that is another good reason why SmilePass is going to be fantastic for your practice. It increases the amount of security that you've got. Marcy, is there anything else that you'd like to mention before we wrap this episode up?
Just the big recommendation for dental practices is to innovate. The market is changing. There are so many competition growing not only in big cities but also small towns more and more. So innovation is very important. To be creative in this market is very important. And yeah, so there are so many good things happening in the market. So just go see what are the trends for the market, so that you are not going to be pushed behind when the changes comes to your town. Yeah.
Great. It's another step you can take to be very easy to deal with. I just get a payment link on my SMS. It's as an SMS. It's all good. Everything seems, and it's as you say, the world is moving very rapidly with new things coming in all the time, and we would like to be seen as up to date with those rather than falling behind. There are so many things out there just to make our lives easier and better and our businesses more robust, and this is absolutely one of them. Thank you so much, Marcia. Amina and I are so delighted and excited about this product. We will be speaking about it in every corner that we go to. And so we look forward to having many conversations with you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mini.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, then I encourage you to head over to Amina and my website, dentalbusinessmastery.com.au. You will find all the information that you need if you would like to gain our assistance in helping you and your team achieve great success. If you would like to find out more, you can also email us directly at info@dentalbusinessmastery.com.au. Thanks so much for listening.